Welcome to the morning meeting, everybody. Or should I say the whenever you decide to show up meeting.
I said the hip, hop, the hippie, the hippie, the hip, hip, hop, and you don't stop the rocket to the bang, bang, boogie, say yup, yup, the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what the hell is to the dish, I'm ripping to the beat. I'm here, the groove, and my friend, you're gonna try to move your feet. See, I am Wonder Man, and I'd like to say hello. I to the black, to the white, the red, and the blue, the purple, and yellow. But first I gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie, say yup, the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie.
I think. Come on, microphone. Here we go. I think I will start this. Oh, that's not. I see what I did wrong. I knew something sounded wrong, and that was like the rejoin. So I've got two different little theme songs here that I can use that are not like copywritten music, so they can't be. They're like original computerized compositions. And this is the one that I use when we're like coming back from a break. And I accidentally used that one to start, and usually I use this one to start. And I knew something sounded off, and I hope the whole day isn't off like this.
3, 2,
I'm restarting the show.
0.
I'm not gonna like reboot anything. I'm just gonna restart the show. I'm gonna count it off like it's in radio. Like this is if I recorded this whole show and then played it, this would be the part where I would go, hold on, retake, start over. In 3, 2, 1. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to hit all the stuff that I normally hit, and it'll sound better. It'll sound like the real start to the show. I have a lot of technical... I'll explain. Let's start it again here in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the morning meeting, everybody. Or should I say the whenever you decide to show up meeting.
I said the hip, hop, the hippie, the hippie, the hip, hip, hop, and you don't stop the rocket to the bang, bang, boogie, say yup, yup, the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what the hell is to the dish, I'm ripping to the beat. I'm here, the groove, and my friend, you're gonna try to move your feet. See, I am Wonder Man, and I'd like to say hello. I to the black, to the white, the red, and the blue, the purple, and yellow. But first I gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie, say yup, yup, the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie.
That's how it's supposed to start. It's more like that. What's up? It's Writer Radio. Hello. 10:09. All right. On July 24, 2025. It is episode 129 of Writer Radio. I did there. 129. So I pulled out yesterday's sheet because I want to rattle off all the stuff I didn't get to because I got distracted by the death of Ozzy Osbourne. And then talking about not playing Ozzy's music and then spending 2 hours talking about Ozzy anyway. Because I like him, I just don't like the songs. Kind of like the Foo Fighters thing I talked about last week, but Dave Grohl's alive. So anyway, I went to grab the sheet, but I grabbed the sheet from show 126. So I said, all right, what's plus 1 on that? No, it was 127. Then I grabbed 128. Sorry. What I was looking for, the show is 129 right now. See what I mean? How everything's off? This is episode 129. And then I've got the sheet from episode 128 because I wanted to share with you some of the stuff I didn't get to, which will explain why today's show is going to be shaped the way today's show is shaped. I had written down stuff about Dave Dombrowski, who came on, and about Jack Gregory, who came on, and then a couple Ozzy things. But then I wrote down, here's how the show was supposed to start. It was supposed to start with Stephen Colbert's show being canceled, David Letterman and Jon Stewart reacting to that, Ozzy dying / so much news. And then I had like 17 different tabs of things open. I feel like I've been so caught up in baseball. And by baseball, I mean Little League baseball. I've been so caught up in that it has taken over my brain. And so there are two things I do. One is this show. The other is watch and what's the word? Administer. Watch and deal with, like, spreadsheets about baseball. That's it. Just, like, the games and some coaching, but mostly watching, and then also helping to run a league. And that's every minute of every day that is not spent either on this show or doing something for this show. Every minute of every day has been baseball. It's over. I mean, yes, I will attend 2 games today and a game tomorrow, and 2 games and a all-day picnic on Saturday, and then some number of games on Sunday, and then play in 2 softball games on Monday, and fall ball's coming, and tryouts for next year are happening. But there's a break. Like, there aren't any more games that matter right now. I mean, I hope the kids win their all-star games. I hope they win tournament games this weekend for a team he's not really even on. Like, it's just, it's like a fun, we're into exhibition mode for like a week. And then nothing for a couple weeks till tryouts, aside from the fact that we're putting together fall ball rosters, and that begins in, late August anyway. So, I mean, and that's all happening. But the reality is this, like, day-to-day, oh, my God, I'm doing baseball everyday thing ended last night. And with it ending last night, it's like I started to awaken to the world. Like, you just pop your head up, like, oh, what's in the news? Oh, Epstein, great. Okay, back down in the hole. All right, what's in? Oh, Ozzy's dead. Okay, back down in the hole. But I've got so many things that just in the last few days, I end up with these open tabs on the computer. And it's not just open tabs. It's like open tabs in one version of this browser, and then open tabs in a separate tab of that browser, and then the other browser that opened up when I accidentally installed the wrong software, and I've got 9 tabs open in that. I've got so much stuff going on that I'm 100% positive that all of this slowdown technology glitchy crap has to do with the fact that I'm overusing the memory. I'm running into this thing. I've talked already many times about the stupid Google storage thing and the scam they've got going on where they're trying to extract 49 cents or $1.49 or whatever it is a month for the rest of my life from me because I'll accept their expanded storage. And then when am I ever going to say, you know what, let's go back to the previous amount of storage? That's never going to happen. So, no, I'm not signing up for that. So I keep having to delete stuff, and I know that they're tricking me, man. It's a scam. So there's that. Yesterday, I got so bad on my phone, I needed to take 2 quick pictures so I could get out the door. Like, legit had to go pick up the kids, and I was already, let's say, 2 minutes later than I wanted to be. And I was like, all right, I have to take a quick screenshot, but like the cheap kind where there's a thing on my screen, and I need to keep talking about it in a conversation that I'll have in the car, but I need to take the computer screen with me, so I can't do that. So quick, I need to snap 2 pictures with the phone, and I hit it, and it's like memory's full. Can't. It's like, what? Okay, so now I got to go find something, and I find a 34-second video of everybody's got. Well, I don't know if everybody does, but do you have video in your phone from when you thought you were taking a picture, but you actually accidentally took a video? So you're just trying to take a picture of a tree, and instead you have a video of a tree. What's worse than a video of a tree? In 34 seconds, and it's tying it up. So I went and I found like a couple of those weird, 18 seconds, didn't know I was taking it type of videos, and got rid of them, and then finally was able to take 2 pictures. But I've noticed a lot of like clunky things with the phone lately. I'll be connected, and the call will just drop. And then I'll try to call back, and it'll be call unavailable, or whatever it is. All the bills are paid. It's nothing like that. The phone is new enough. It shouldn't be a problem. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in a situation like that. And then I'm looking at the computer. I've got a similar situation. I'm going to call tech support, see if I can solve this problem right now, see if this works. This is live, so I don't know how well this will go. I'm going to call tech support. Come on. I hope they're open. Oh, good. They're open. Is this tech support?
This is Gary support.
Right. Dad, is this tech support?
Yes.
Play along, please. I'm having some problems with both my phone and my computer. Let me explain what's going on with the phone. Every time I try to take a picture, it's telling me I'm up against a memory issue. When I try to send an email, it's telling me I'm having a problem with that. Everything is just really running slowly. I'm dropping calls when I don't think I should.
Okay.
Do you have a suggestion?
Okay, I think I do.
Okay, well, hold on to that one, because I'm having a problem with my computer as well. I've got a lot of tabs open. Every time I try to use it, things are going a little bit slower than they normally do, and I can't figure out what to do with these 2 pieces of electronic equipment that aren't running the way that I would like them to run. Do you have an answer, tech support /dad?
Yeah, the quick answer is to reboot everything.
Oh.
Shut everything down and reboot it.
Unplug it.
You'll be all right.
And plug it back in. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I'll let you know if it worked. That's my answer every time he calls me for a problem. So that's my dad. And anytime he calls me, I tell him, did you try unplugging it? then he goes, yeah, it's a good idea. And he unplugs it, and then he plugs it back in, and then it works. Reboot, restart, start over. So I did that with the phone last night. That was a trick. He didn't know I was going to call him. He played along. He did really well. But with the phone last night, I had a phone call drop, and the guy wrote back. He's like, I didn't hang up. And I was like, I'm rebooting the phone. I'll call you back in 7 minutes when it's done. And everything has worked fine on the phone since then. The computer, however, is kind of the lifeblood of the show. We need that thing running as smoothly as possible. And in an effort to do the best show possible, I've got everything that could possibly be open on a computer, open on this computer. And if I don't get it closed, I don't feel like I can restart the computer right now because I'm going to lose all the stuff that's on all the different tabs and screens and things. So in an effort to reboot the computer in time for tomorrow's show, I am going to attempt to get through at least a brief mention of every story or list or topic or whatever that is on one of my 3 screens that are here, or buried because they're minimized because I had to make room for more windows. Too many things are open. As tech support said, I need to reboot the computer. I can't reboot the computer until we do all the stuff. So I'm going to be all over the place on the show today because it's topic after topic after topic after topic. Feel free to chime in. Feel free. I'll even leave the thing here so you can. No, I can't because I won't know who it is. I could just be a regular call. Damn it. Got to have a plan for that. All right, I was going to say I'll just have open phone lines today and you can chime in on anything you want. That doesn't work. Use the chat, the MixLR app. There's a chat thing in there. And I've been, a buddy asked me, he's like, is it pronounced MixLR or is it Mixler, as I've been saying it? And I looked it up, and they do prefer that you say Mixler. But if I say Mixler, then I have to spell it out, and I'd say MixLR. So I'm just going to skip the part where I pronounce the company's name the way that they would like it pronounced, and I will pronounce it the way that will allow you to find it and share it. Because if you're just listening through writerradio.com, you might click a link, but you might be listening there and go, well, how do I do this directly? What's this chat I'm hearing so much about? There does seem to be, there's a lot of activity in the chat. It's pretty fun. There's a cool little, it's like a little clubhouse going on of people who chat with one another, and I jump in there sometimes. But I read it all. I don't necessarily, I read it all, but I don't necessarily read it all out loud or react to all of it, but I do see everything that goes in there, so feel free. All right. The number to call if you want to, you can text too. 288-5246. At some point, I'm going to really start utilizing that number because it's there. It's for texting, it's for voicemails, and it's in theory for live calls. I'm online on X at Brad Writer, but the big thing is writerradio.com, which I keep telling you this. Soon, it will be the hub for everything. If you want to find the Twitter feed and the Spotify playlist and the old episodes and the live stream and the chat thing, and links to the golf tournament we were talking about yesterday, backtgolfclassic.com, all that stuff will be in one place. But I'm only one man, as I've told you many times. Okay, so I'm going to just start ripping through these stories, and should I do the baseball update? I do baseball update and then rip through stories because, yeah, that's what I'll do. All right, baseball update. Last night was the last night of meaningful baseball games for my 2 kids' Little League teams, and there were 2 championships. Now, if you've been listening to Writer Radio, you're aware of the fact that my children, going into last night, had already played in 2 championship games within this past week, including one the night before, yesterday. And we were 0-2. We, as a family, had gone 0-2. Yesterday, we had a 10U house baseball championship. That's Drew, my youngest. He's 8. And we lost. So that was 3 for 3 in championship games this week. Drew 0 for 2, Nate 0 for 1. Not putting it on them. I'm just saying those are the teams that they play for. So sadness twice for the 8-year-old, sadness once for the 10-year-old. At least last night's game was in no way controversial. There was one kind of play that got argued, but it was fine. It was fixed. The ump got it right. It was nothing. But it was middle of the game. Didn't matter. Nothing stupid. 7-4 final. Okay. Nothing like the craziness of the last 2 games that have had just controversial, stupid endings. Lost that one 7-4. Moving on. Second game was the 12U championship. That's Nate's team and the Giants, and they won. They won. They are the champions, my friend. They kept on fighting till the bottom of the 6th inning when Brody came in and struck out the side. He didn't strike out the side, but he put him down 1-2-3. Bro dog, my man. Just a cool game. It was the best, probably the best Little League game I've seen played. Certainly best house game I've seen played, where it's just the kids from the neighborhood playing baseball. It was absolutely awesome. 9-8 final or 10-9 final. I don't remember which. But back and forth game, ton of super cool plays, ton of pitchers who threw really hard and threw strikes, but then the kids came up and hit them anyway. Like, it was awesome. And I'm not just saying that because the losing team's coaches said the same thing. Like, that was incredible. No controversy, no nothing, good umpires, just like perfect. It was awesome. Great way to finish the season. Obviously, the win was cool, and we took pictures with trophies and stuff, and that was fun. But for all the time that I put in to not just watching it, but like helping run this league, it was super rewarding to see that level of baseball played at our little league. And that I didn't mean that with the capital L. I meant that like we've got like 400 kids that play in the league, as opposed to places that have 1,500 and 2,000 kids. We got 4 diamonds, 400 kids. Let's go. And it was awesome baseball. Like, if you like the sport of baseball, you would have enjoyed this game played between 10, 11, and 12-year-olds last night. So, super cool. Won that one. Did eat a hot dog. And that puts me season final. The stats are in. I'm going to have to go inside the numbers at some point. 57 wins, 28 losses, 3 ties, 17 hot dogs consumed at those games. But it's a lot of games, man. It's 88 games. 17 hot dogs, 88 games. No one would have predicted the number would stay that low. And I don't want to hear this BS about, sometimes you eat pizza and that doesn't count. That's right. Sometimes I eat pizza. Sometimes I eat a burger. Sometimes I eat nothing. Sometimes they have Chick-fil-A there and I eat that. No, I'm not counting that. I'm counting hot dogs. Hot dogs are gross to think about. Delicious to eat, gross to think about. It's a fight every time. Do I want to eat this garbage or no? Man, this garbage will taste delicious. I only lost that battle 17 times in 88 games, and I'm proud of me. Let's hear it for the boy. Continuing the baseball update before we do this. It's kind of, I used to do the cleaning out the folder type of show. It's like I've got a folder full of things I printed out to talk about, and if I don't talk about them now, I'm never going to. So some of this stuff might be a little bit old, but whatever. It's just, I got to clean this up. I'm not going to shut these tabs until I use them, and I have to restart the computer, and it's going to shut the tabs, or it's going to allow me to, it's just smarter to get rid of them. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to clean it out. Here we go. Let's see. A baseball update. Niagara Falls Americans came from behind once again, scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th to top the first place Batavia Muck Dogs 6-4 and clinch their first playoff berth in just their second season. Today is off day as they will rest starters and play an exciting game against Power City, an adult fast pitch travel team. And some of their interns will be able to play. Next league game is Friday against Elmira Pioneers in Elmira. They'll close out the regular season home schedule Saturday against the Niagara Ironbacks in St. Catharines. Or maybe not in, but from St. Catharines. I'm not sure where the game is. Either way, it works. Thank you for the Niagara Falls Americans update. Next one. Got an email you're going on the air. That was the first time. Okay, that's something. So we've got all these little pieces of technology, and if I set up the show before I'm going to do the show, and you're subscribed, this is all the stuff I have to figure out. But we'll have more people listening if more people know the show's on and get reminded the show's on, and if you tell people the show's on. But I need to do that at my end, and I just haven't gotten to it technologically because I'm trying to do a show and deal with baseball. So there's that. Today in history, 15 years ago today, Soul Asylum was in Niagara Falls. Greg Bauk was there. Little Danny Cave was there. DeMarcus Ware was there for some reason. You know who wasn't there? Me. You know where I was? The old Pink. You know why? Didn't know Soul Asylum was playing. I've told this story recently. Found out Soul Asylum was in Niagara Falls while I was hanging out by myself. I had nothing to do. No wife, no girlfriend or whatever. Maybe a busy wife or girlfriend. It wouldn't have been wife 15 years ago. 15, no, before I married. Just out by myself. And had nothing to do. I might have taken the bus. Like, I lived in North Buffalo and was going to Allentown, and this is pre-Uber. And the bus was probably $3 with the cab being, $14. So I think I took a bus. I feel like I did not drive because I knew I was just going out by myself. I'll figure out how to get home later. Let's not drive. So I was by myself at the Old Pink. Found out Soul Asylum was playing in Niagara Falls. If I was there with a car, I probably would have driven. Yeah, that's how I know I didn't have a car. That's right. I would have driven. But now I'm stuck at the Old Pink while Soul Asylum, who's one of my favorite bands I've ever seen live, they're just fantastic live band, playing in Niagara Falls. I didn't know about it, so I'm mad. And then that is, 2 hours later, the night that the guys from Soul Asylum came in, and I got to hang out with the guys from Soul Asylum strictly because I went to a bar instead of going to their show. And I'm not going to get into all of the details because I have told this story very recently, like probably during the digital era of Writer Radio. But I hung out with them, and it was fun. It was cool, and that's my experience. But I did not know that was 15 years ago today. I'm going to play a song and then come back and start ripping through all the stories that I have spread out on my computer that needs to be restarted as per tech support / my dad, who we talked to right at the start of the show. This is going to be a 1 to 2 song timeout for me as I start getting these things set up. It's going to be all over the place. It's going to be a mess, but it's going to be fun. We'll have fun today. Does anyone here like fun? I do. I like fun. It's Writer Radio. Episode 129. Mike's not loud enough. Mike should be there. There we go. At least I think that's right. The show sounds better streaming now than it did when it was on the radio and streaming. I think. There were all these problems, these audio problems that I couldn't control. Here, if there's an audio problem, it's on me and I could fix it. But we're better here. It's all better. Everything's good. All right. So even there, like, took a quick break to kind of reset myself, drink a little water, do a little dance, drink a little water, and then get the tabs going. And in that spot, I was reminded through the chat, or I was informed of a news story I didn't know about. So Brad, have you read about the New Jersey Little Leaguer bat flip suspension? You can find it on the New York Post website. So I did. That's now added to the open tabs. And then I was reminded by text that Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo Huxtable, died. I even saw... So this is a weird one, because I found that one out way after the fact. There was something where... I don't know. Maybe it was... Yeah, Ozzy died. And then my wife said something about, that's sad. It's been a sad week. Malcolm Jamal Warner. I was like, what? I didn't even know about that. But then I remembered somebody had sent me a picture, like a Malcolm Jamal Warner. I don't know what it was. It was just like a meme. But at no point did I recognize he was dead. And then, now I have to sneeze. Okay. Wow, that was a good one, too. And I'm glad the mic was down, because that sneeze came out, that's not even what people sound like. But I was attempting to not hit anything in my nearby vicinity. I couldn't cover my mouth. I couldn't do it, so I had to turn, and I launched it. It was bad. So I found out Malcolm Jamal Warner was dead way after the fact. I don't know, a day, 2, 4. Not that I need to know. Not that it changes my life. Not that I would have done anything differently. But I didn't notice. I didn't notice the story. I don't notice stories. And very often, because I'm busy, when I do notice a story, I click it, I open it, it sits there, and I don't read it. So the point here is I've got a lot of stuff open. I want to restart my computer, and you just have to do that every now and then. It probably needs an update, a Windows update or something. Probably security update. It's clunky, but I think I have to get through all this stuff before I can do that. So we'll get back to Malcolm. I'm just going to go through every tab that's open and close out the ones that I can. All right? So just play along with me. And it's like breaking news, except it's all old. So it's like broken news. basically. It's somebody already broke it, and you probably already know about it because you pay attention to the world more than I do. But this is all, it's in my mind breaking, and really it's broken news. All right, I'm going to read every tab that I have open, and I'll tell you what to do. All right, wait list for fall ball. That one stays open. Copy of master schedule baseball, softball. Leave that open. Why Queensryche Operation Mindcrime is still one of the best concept albums. Leave open until Scott comes on tomorrow. 36 years ago, Queensryche released defining concept album Operation Mindcrime. Leave open till Scott comes. Gmail. We're closing that for now. A Reddit thread about how Ferris Bueller did not age well. Listen to this. This is from 2 days ago. This popped up. Like, I get updates from Reddit in my Gmail, and they're almost always this tempting to me. This is from a group called Gen X, I guess. I don't know that I subscribed to it, but I guess I did. Should say didn't know that I subscribed to it, but I guess I did. But it sent me this thing where the headline is Ferris Bueller did not age well. And then I'm thinking, all right, is he talking about Matthew Broderick? Because he's doing fine. And he's not. He's talking about the movie. Listen to this. I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off this weekend with my kids, ages 9 and 10. Of course, there are the iconic lines, life moves pretty fast, and Bueller, 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 but the more I watched, the less fun it was. To be honest, at the end, I agreed with Ferris's sister. Why does he get away with all this shit she never could? He's a rich, privileged white boy who punches down, tricking and taking advantage of pathetic school administrators, restaurant workers, younger kids at school, his parents, and even manipulates his best friend. He has no empathy for others and does everything for his own enjoyment. I know I'm a grumpy old man yelling at clouds, but I'm no longer amused by his antics, and I don't think Ferris Bueller could be the hero today that he was in the Reagan 80s. To be clear, my kids laughed a lot, and I did too. I was just uncomfortable with the overall message. That's just being beaten down by society. In my opinion, that's all that is. You suddenly have to think about who talks about a high school kid punching down. He was skipping school. He was punching no one. He's taking advantage of administrators. Administrators have the power. You're punching up. If you're taking advantage of administrators, you're punching up. And who cares? He's rich and privileged. Okay, that's you judging. Tricking and taking advantage of pathetic school administrators. We already addressed that. Restaurant workers. Talking his way into a table. He didn't steal anything. He just convinced the guy to let him sit at a table for lunch. That's taking advantage of a restaurant worker. You're a coward, guy who wrote this. Even manipulates his best friend. He's just being a kid. He's being a kid, and Cameron grows through the movie. Ferris doesn't change. Cameron does. I don't like it. All right, that's all. That's all for that one. I'm just going to close it. But I had that open, and I couldn't close it till I talked about it. All right. Pat Boone shares startling revelation about Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, we'll call this one breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Pat Boone. Ozzy Osbourne. One was a rival of Elvis Presley in the 50s. The other was the Prince of Darkness. They seemed to be opposites. 90-year-old Boone revealed not only were he and Osbourne once next-door neighbors, they were also friends. He says, I am stunned. I can't believe that my former next-door neighbor and good friend has passed away. All right, well, that's the whole story. It's a startling revelation. Startling revelation. Why can't I say that word? Startling revelation about Pat Boone. You will not believe this. Yeah, you know that rich old white guy? He lived next door to another rich old white guy. A rich, famous old white guy. That is not a startling revelation, Parade. He did In a Metal Mood. Pat Boone did an album called In a Metal Mood and probably covered either Ozzy or Sabbath. I wonder if this all happened because he lived next door to him. Maybe that's the revelation. I didn't read the whole article. Pat Boone. Let's see. When was In a Metal Mood? This is exciting. This is research. This could be breaking news. Or it could be 2 paragraphs down in the story I didn't finish reading. In a Metal Mood. No more Mr. Nice Guy. What tracks are on here? There's got to be an Ozzy. You've got Another Thing Coming. No. Smoke on the Water, no. It's a long way to the top, no. Panama, no. No more Mr. Nice Guy, no. Love Hurts, no. Enter Sandman, no. Holy Diver, no. Paradise City, no. Show more. The Wind Cries Mary, no. That's track 10. Track 12, Stairway to Heaven, no. Track 11, Crazy Train. There you go. There's a connection. All right, now we go back to the article. Let's see. Do they mention that? Did he do In a Metal Mood because he lived next door to Ozzy? That's what I want to know. Just scrolling through. Nothing about that. Nope, you didn't know it. Good job. Great article. Being surprised about a Pat Boone, Ozzy Osbourne connection, despite the fact that Pat Boone covered an Ozzy song, and then you called him living next door to him. A great revelation. Lame. All right, so that was that's first segment. That's one tab down. We've closed a tab. No, we've closed two tabs. Ferris Bueller and Pat Boone. All right, Lamar Jackson. Is this breaking news? Sure. Call it breaking news. Broken news. Lamar Jackson declines to comment on hidden collusion ruling. All right. Part of me says declines to comment is never going to be worthy of a headline. I'll bite because I want to be able to close the tab, but so-and-so had nothing to say as a headline. Like, that's not, I can say this is not clickbait, right? Declines to comment. All right. In January, NFLPA scored a partial victory in a collusion grievance against the league. Outcome was hidden by the NFLPA for more than 5 months until Pablo Torre found out. The grievance focused on 3 quarterbacks who failed to get fully guaranteed contracts. Blah, blah, blah. Lamar Jackson, who strangely drew no interest as a non-exclusive franchise player in 23, was the biggest name involved. On Wednesday, he declined to comment on the matter. I'm focused on football right now. I'm not worried about that right now. That happened. It is what it is. I'm focused on this right now. Do I need to read the rest of the story? Probably not. That's nothing. That was a dumb click by me. No need to save that one ever. He declines to comment. Ooh, I got it. What did he say? You get to it. It's like, nothing. Oh, you got me. You got me, Bob. More breaking news. This is my other breaking news soundbite. All right, which one's? Hold on. Let's do an A/B test. No, stop that one. All right. I'll make that the first one because this one's labeled breaking news and then the other one's labeled breaking news too because I haven't decided which one I like better. But maybe we'll eliminate one too. While closing all these tabs, we'll eliminate one of these. So if we've got breaking news, or in my case, broken news, like news that's old but is new to me, like, oh, breaking news, breaking news. All right, that's A. And then B is like, oh, there's breaking news or broken news. I think that one. I think that's the one. A or B? A or B, which is more important sounding? Which is more breaking news-ish, broken news-ish? I don't like how this one just cuts off at the end, though, but I can adjust it. See, that just ends. I don't like that. But I'm going to keep that. I think that's the one. I think that's the winner. All right, next story. Nope, not that one. Playbook, the Epstein bombshell explodes. Maybe we'll leave a little bit of time for that one instead of just jumping right in. Here's a picture of Brady Cook, New York Jets third-string quarterback that I opened at some point today because I wanted to see their depth chart after seeing that there was an injury to Justin Fields' leg in camp today. Depth chart goes Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod? Is that how it goes? The guy that we used to call Tyrod Taylor. And then Brady Cook. And I looked him up because I knew his name. And it's because he played at Mizzou, and we were just at Mizzou. So there we go. All right, Brady Cook. Close him. Here's that. Oh, the baseball bat thing. This popped up already. Breaking news. Parent of rival New Jersey team backs Little Leaguer suspended for bat flipping. Quote, these umpires aren't very good. Second, that even the enemy is going to bat for this Little Leaguer. A parent of a rival New Jersey team is backing a Little League player who was suspended from a state finals game for joyfully flipping his bat, saying the, quote, horseplay rule is unclear, and most players don't even know it exists. The parent on the other team, or maybe coach on the other team, parent, says these umpires aren't very good. It doesn't warrant a game suspension. It says suspicion here in the New York Post, but I'm sure he meant suspension. His son plays for the team that had this happen against them. Marco Rocco is the bad kid who flipped his bat after hitting a home run. And he's 12. He was facing off against Harrison Thursday, tossed his bat in the air to celebrate hitting a home run, which made the game an 8-0 blowout, prompted the umpire to eject him from the game. That should be a warning for throwing a bat, unless he was already warned for throwing a bat. And then if he threw his bat again, then he should be ejected from the game. That's just basics. I'm not even an umpire. It's just if you're around it enough, you know. And if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I've seen that a million times. You throw the bat, it's like, hey, don't do that. Then you throw the bat again, you're like, you're out, or you're suspended, or something. But a warning would be more appropriate. The move also earned him a 1-game suspension, barred him from competing in the New Jersey Little League State Tournament final, outraging his dad, who filed court papers to have the suspension overturned. This one actually is breaking news because today's Thursday. So he filed papers Tuesday trying to get his kid to be able to play this Thursday. The parent from the other team said, I don't believe it's common knowledge in Little League that you aren't supposed to flip a bat. He also said the no horseplay rule reportedly cited by the umpire of the game in question is overly vague. Sure, you can call almost anything horseplay. If there's no rule specifically against bat flipping in the handbook, how would you know? I would agree with that part. But bat flipping is a euphemism for bat throwing. It's bat throwing plus arrogance, and not super safe to throw hunks of aluminum around where kids are playing. So definitely get a warning for doing it. If you did it before, yeah, you're ejected. If the rules say ejection means suspension, then yeah, you're suspended. Is it lame? Yeah. Do I like a kid who flips his bat? No. Tell you right now, this whatever his name is, Marco Rocco. Like, that's a kid I wouldn't like. I'm not mad at him. I'm not saying he's not a good kid, but I'm saying if he's on the other team or my team and he's the type of kid who likes to flip a bat at a Little League game, I'd rather he wasn't there. So there's that. But I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. Or probably won't, because I don't follow up on news stories. I'm right now doing old news stories just so I can restart my computer and get all these tabs closed. Malcolm Jamal Warner is dead. Breaking news. Oh, this is real bad. I knew my wife said, oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. And I was like, oh, yeah, because he was on The Cosby Show and he was good. And she's like, no, he's also on, I don't know, some show she's been watching within the last couple of years. Some medical drama that I would never, I wouldn't watch. But this is gross. He drowned in Costa Rica at the age of 54 on Sunday. He was swimming with his 8-year-old daughter at the time. Surfers, according to police officials, surfers saw him and his daughter struggling in the water. A surfer dove in and brought the child back to safety on his board. A volunteer lifeguard then pulled Warner and a second surfer back to shore, where he was given 45 minutes of CPR. Costa Rican National Police confirmed to the Post that bystanders had pulled Warner from the water and taken him to shore. Costa Rica Red Cross made revival efforts, but attempts were unsuccessful. Body was transported to the morgue for an autopsy. Cause of death is listed as, well, drowning. See, why would I try to say that when I couldn't say the other word today? I'm going to try to say asphyxiation by submersion. Wednesday, TMZ reported Warner's body has been released to the family and he'll be flown back to Los Angeles. So, yeah, that one sucks. But I can close the tab at least. Pat Boone, we already did. I can close that tab. That's actually it for this one right here. So I'm not going to close that. But I have so I use Chrome, but even just Chrome, I've got multiple Chromes open. No, I don't. I'm down to one Chrome. Okay, the problem ends up being in this Microsoft Edge that installed itself recently and left me with a lot of tabs because, man, did everything look interesting. So I've got a bunch of stuff from that I will get to now. Yeah, I guess I'll start now. We'll start now. All right, this first one, don't start. This is just a list of other things to click, and I don't want that at all. All right. Oh, more death. Great. Happy show. Lots of fun. It's Writer Radio, episode 129. We're clearing out all of these stories that I haven't talked about. Oh, see, there's a thing right at the top asking me to update. That's what's going on. That's why everything's clunky. So we got to get rid of this stuff, but I'm not throwing it out. I'm not printing it all. We're going to go through tab by tab, delete this stuff from my brain, put it into yours, and then I'll walk away. And then it's your problem, not mine. And then we can restart the computer, and everything will be better. Okay. Where are we? This is more death. Breaking news. The music supervisor of American Idol and her husband were killed with their own gun. What? The gun allegedly used in the killing of an American Idol music supervisor and her husband at their home in L.A. belonged to the victims, according to prosecutors. Robin Kay and her husband, Thomas DeLuca, both 70, were found shot to death in their L.A. home during a welfare check July 14th, authorities said. Kay had been with American Idol since 2009. Responding officers found the victims dead with multiple gunshot wounds, including to the head. A 22-year-old is charged with murder in that killing. There's another tab I'm opening. It's believed the couple was killed 4 days earlier when the LAPD said it received a 911 call about a possible burglary at the Encino address. The suspect is accused of scaling a fence onto the property, entering the home through an unlocked door, and then shooting and killing the couple when they arrived home from the grocery store about 30 minutes later. Ugh. A firearm recovered from the suspect's Encino residence came from the victim's home. It was a gun he had recovered from the actual house. It was Robin and Tom's gun. It wasn't his gun, which is exceptionally tragic. He was arrested July 15th. So this is broken news. This is 9 days ago, but I'm just catching up, man. He's since been charged with 2 counts of murder and a count of residential burglary. Yeah, that makes sense. With a special circumstance allegation of multiple murders and murder during the commission of a burglary. He has not yet entered a plea. He's being held without bail. Next court hearing is August 20th. They say he got caught because he used his cell phone to contact police concerning his situation. Police were able to ping the cell phone, find out where he lived, go to his residence, and arrest him. So he got caught by calling the police himself? Police had previously said they received 2 911 calls regarding the residence on July 10th. In an update on Tuesday, the LAPD said one call was from a neighbor reporting a potential burglary in progress. The second was from an individual claiming to be a resident inside the location. The caller eventually advised that police response was not necessary. Follow-up attempts to reach the caller were unsuccessful. What a disaster. I mean, I have very crazy advice to give there. But wow, I mean, what'd you take from that story? I took people are bad, but also technology is crazy, and also don't call the cops on your own crime. I mean, I'm not. That's nuts. That's because I don't know the story at all, and to me, it's like, oh, these people were murdered during a burglary in their home in L.A. And then the story, I scroll down, and there's a picture of the suspect, like hands behind his back. Like, how'd they get the guy? It's just a burglary, and they found 2 bodies 4 days later. What's going on here? It's because he called the cops, and they're like, all right, let's go get that guy. That's interesting. And good to know. I'm not planning to do anything with this, but it's good to know. All right, this next thing I have is called Katy Perry nearly falls as prop malfunctions midair over crowd. Now, again, I don't know how old this one's only 2 days old. So was this breaking news? Yeah, kind of. Breaking news. This video may have audio, so if it does, that'd be great. Uh-oh, not that. All right, shut up, breaking news. Stop. Let's hear people scream when Katy Perry nearly falls from a thing. I'll describe it as I see it. Katy Perry flying on a bird over the stage in a pink dress. Everything seems normal. Katy Perry circling over. Oh, just a little drop, just a little bump in the road. Okay, so I've been to Cedar Point recently, been to Darien Lake recently, been on a lot of roller coasters recently. I would say the first hill on the Viper. Okay, not the big one, but if you're on the Viper and you go up with the chain lift, crank, 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 and you get to the top, and then it starts, and you go down a little dip, and then it turns, and then you go down the big hill. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you haven't been on the Viper, I apologize, but it's almost like a little head fake. It's like, yes, we are capable of taking you down, but we're not going down. That's all that happened to Katy Perry there. Like, it probably dropped 6 feet. She's suspended 50 feet in the air. It probably dropped 5 feet and then stabilized and was fine and freaked her out a little, but nearly falls is not really close. Like, something went a little bit wrong. I'm going to watch it again. Yeah, I've seen bull riders drop less, and it's almost like she's riding a bull with wings. A bull with butterfly wings. All right, so I'm going to rule that one false. Katy Perry did not nearly fall. The next story right here, I'm not scrolling down. I'm closing it. You can see the moment when the boy is attacked by the shark. No, closing. This is all clickbait. This is like this one. We tried 14 chain breakfast restaurants. Here's the best one. I clicked on that. I know what that does. I know what that is. We're skipping that one. I'm still curious. This one, this is new. This is breaking news, I'd say, or pretty slightly breaking news. BBC holds talks over long gestating Ozzy Osbourne documentary after rock icon's death. The BBC is locked in conversations over the future of a long gestating documentary series about the Osbourne family following the death of Ozzy on Tuesday. The BBC greenlit Home to Roost in 2022. Home to Roost, a 10-part series following Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne as they return to the UK from LA with the help of their children, Kelly and Jack. Show is conceived as a spiritual but not official successor to the Osbournes. The anarchic Fly on the Wall series that aired on MTV between 02 and 05. Home to Roost has not yet premiered, despite producer Expectation having filmed. Expectation is a title. Despite the producer having filmed with the family for a number of months, there is hope, according to sources, that it can still make it to air in some form. Those involved are mindful of respecting the family's wishes following his death at the age of 76. Okay, I'm going to say that's not a story. Hey, somebody took some footage, and maybe sometime somebody will use it for something someday. This is a video I don't want to watch. Billy Joel tells Bill Maher he's over what woke people think of him. Let's see if I can get anything out of the description. Nope, not really. Doesn't care anymore if the far left complains about his statements or music. Okay, good. Yeah, it's typical old guy stuff. You eventually reach a point where you're like, yeah, I'm not, I don't care. I don't care what you say at all. It doesn't matter. See, all of these are videos, and I don't want them to be. I wanted them to be stories. CEO resigns following Coldplay Kiss Cam social media frenzy. I think we've briefly touched on the Coldplay Kiss Cam story, but yeah, we did, because I had somebody on with me. Maybe it was, Jeremy. Jeremy's like, I've got a take on this. It's going to be different. Here's my new take on it as I've thought about it. If they just didn't freak out, no one would have known who that was. CEO Andy Byron. It's not Elon Musk. Like, I'm sure there are people. I've never heard of Astronomer. I'd never heard of that guy. I didn't know who their director of HR was. And even if that show was that at Madison Square Garden? I just have assumed it was. I don't know. I didn't care that much. It was in Boston. Okay. So even if some people know who that is, it seems to me pretty unlikely that anything comes of it if they don't freak out and like cover their faces. Just act like you've been there. Act like it's fine. The camera goes away a split second later because they're looking for the next couple, and then move on. Don't react. Don't smile. Don't do anything. Just stand there smiling. Don't cover your face. Don't dive, because once their faces turn and she covers hers and he like dives out of sight, that's like, hey, who was that? What's going on there? You don't do that. You're fine. You can hide in plain sight. I think even being apparently a very rich and famous guy, I don't think he's famous. I don't think he was. I mean, maybe in Boston he's super famous. I don't know. But I think there's a much better chance of getting away with it minus the reaction. This is the Bob Gaunt thing. It's always the cover-up. It's always the cover-up that gets you nailed. If they just stood there, I think we would not know this story at all. So, lesson to everyone, and this applies to Kiss Cam in general. Like, whether you are there with your wife or there with your sister or there on a first date or it's your mom, but she looks young, so people are going to think you're a couple. Just do the super subtle thing that makes the camera go away. Don't act crazy and hide and duck and dive. Don't be the person dodging the light. That's what we notice. Just act like everybody else acts and you'll be fine. And I'm not saying make out with your mom, but it's your mom. You turn, you kiss your mom on the cheek. They go away. Hiding from the camera. Again, we're at the cover-up is the problem. We're just taking a group picture, but somebody's like trying to hide from it. They're the one who looks stupid in the picture. Everyone else looks fine. Everyone else who just accepts that there's a camera looks fine. If you're ducking and hiding, you stand out. If they didn't duck and hide, they wouldn't have stood out. Maybe he's more famous than I'm giving him credit for. I'm bad at this, like news stuff. I'm just getting to the Coldplay story now. But I don't know. I think he could have just blended in and been fine. I've got another story about Ozzy. I don't. We did enough Ozzy yesterday. What is this? Uh-oh. We're at the. This is what happens with the computer. It gets kind of clunky. All right. See, now this one. This one I think I do want to do, and I'm not afraid to spend an hour on 13 mind-blowing facts about whales and dolphins that will make you love them even more. A story by Belinda Jelly from 5 months ago. It's breaking news. It's breaking news. Things that... Breaking. We're getting word that there are 13 mind-blowing facts about whales and dolphins that will make you love them even more. For that, we turn to senior ocean correspondent Belinda Jelly. For real? I'm going to do that one, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to say that one. Okay, what's this one about a women's fencer? Women's fencer Stephanie Turner reacts to Team USA following Trump's order to protect women's sports. I mean, I'm interested to hear about what a fencer has to say. We'll try this. I'll try this. I'm going to try it again with audio this time because it's an audio format. All right, here we go. Try.
I really want to say that I'm glad. And in a way, this is a good time for congratulations. But the fact that it's taken so long and so much effort is really disappointing to me that it took, until 2025 to get this done.
All right, I'm going to let it keep playing, but I'm going to pot it down a little just to say that this is worthless. We're 25 seconds into 3 minutes and 33 seconds, and it is exactly as interesting as I thought a women's fencer talking about Trump's decisions about women's sports would be. We're going to bring it back up. We'll see how it goes. It might get better.
I think people are exhausted by this issue, fatigued by it, and why prolong this debate any longer? I think most people I think this should be a center issue. It seems like it should be. But it's gotten away with us due to, I don't know, some sort of fear from the Democrats, really, that if they come out against this, maybe they lose their base. But with it really is just like God's timing that this all happened all together, all at once. And I think a lot of people are sick and tired of having to hear about men and women's sports over and over again.
All right. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Busted out the truth detector. Unannounced truth detector. Might be better than the real truth detector. All right. I can close that one. Women's fencer Stephanie Turner. That was less interesting than I thought. I'm going to take a break before I get... It's not funny. It's not. It's the combination of words that it makes it. It's not the thing that happened. It's the combination of words in the headline that make it funny to me. we're almost done with these things. I think I have fewer open than I believed, unless I've got another whole Mozilla Firefox situation or something. But I think I've only got like 3 or 4 more of these. But these are just like goofy things I intended to address over the last week or so, but I need them closed before I can reboot the computer and make the show better. Brief timeout. I'll be back with more. It's Writer Radio. 716-288-5246 for the text and voicemail line. Everything's available at writerradio.com, or will be. Certainly the live stream is there. I'm online on X at Brad Writer, BradRiter. This is episode 129 of Writer Radio. It's July 24th, 2025. And thank you for listening. I always come up with ideas for like recurring segments on the show if I did a straightforward show. The problem is they just wind up on lists and then they never happen. But my new one, well, I came up with the broken news thing I like, because it's breaking news, but it's old. So it's already been broken. Plus, I'm not any good at it. So I think broken news is maybe that's one we could stick with, because I got the little thing now, the little soundbite for when we have broken news. Like, oh my God, can you believe that something happened at the Coldplay show? Broken news happened a week and a half ago. Or whatever. I got that, but now I have another one too. This is something that I find funny in life, and I don't know that I've ever really... I've brought it up a little bit, but I've never thought about the fact that this could be like a whole thing. So I wanted to talk about the fact that I've got this pair of slippers, and I've never been a big slippers person, but I've got a pair of slippers that I wear fairly often now because I'm in the basement a lot, and there's carpet on part of it, but like when I'm sitting here, there's concrete under me. Like the floor, it's not like a finished basement. It's just a basement with all my stuff in it. It's fine. It used to be finished, and then there was, I think, a flood before we bought it. So like there's the bones of, you could see it. Like I could put a drop ceiling in. It's all set up for it. I just haven't. I don't know. So I'm wearing these slippers, and I'm 90% certain that when I bought, I don't know if I bought them, I probably got them as a gift. When I got these slippers, you take them out, I don't think there was a right or a left. I think it was just, this is the approximate shape of a human foot. Shove one of them in there. Here's one, here's the other one. The contacts are like that for me. It's pretty cool. I used to have one bad eye and one horrible eye, and lucky for me, my bad eye became horrible to the point where the prescription is exactly the same. So I never have to think about left versus right contacts again until they change my prescription. But that's why you just don't go to doctors, because if you don't go to doctors, then nothing changes and you're fine. So I've got the same contacts. It doesn't matter, left or right. And the slippers, I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure they were just like two, shaped for a Fred Flintstone foot slippers. My feet are not attractive at all. They're large and they're flat. There's some like weird thing growing on the knuckle. Like there's like I don't know, just like an old person foot. I got like a thing. So anyway, I'm not going to walk around barefoot on the concrete because it's cold. This is the coldest part of the house. AC is down here. Could use like one of those efficiency tests so that people could sleep comfortably upstairs. I hang out in the basement a lot because it's cold and I like it cold. But I need slippers. I went to put slippers on, I don't know, yesterday, and looked down and like they're on the wrong feet. Now, I swear to you, these things didn't used to be like this. I think I changed them. I think they morphed to the point where I wore the one on the right enough and the one on the left enough that they no longer are interchangeable. And I went to Google that. But how do you look that up? Hey, Google, maybe that's a problem for AI. AI can solve anything. Let me try that. Let's see if that works. I don't know if the microphone goes into the computer in the right way, that it would allow for me to do like an AI. All right, let's try ChatGPT. I should have just told that whole story to ChatGPT. Maybe I will. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. All right, official ChatGPT website. What can I help with? I'm going to hit the microphone thing. We'll see if the mic even works. Do you hear me? Oh, yeah, it's working. Okay, so I have a pair of slippers that I think were, you could just switch feet because they weren't the same. They're the exact same shape. But then, now that I've worn them for a while, I think one has taken the shape of my right foot and one has taken the shape of my left foot. Is this possible, or am I hallucinating? Check mark. All right. It says, do you hear me? Oh, yeah, it's working. Okay, so, all right, I'll get rid of that part. All right, so now, here's what I'm entering. I have a pair of slippers that I think were, you could just switch feet because they weren't the same. They were the same. I'm going to say they were the same. I have a pair of slippers that I think were, comma, you could just switch feet because they were the same. They're the exact same shape. But now that I've worn them for a while, I think one has taken the shape of my right foot and one has taken the shape of my left foot. Is this possible, or am I hallucinating? Now I'm going to hit upload. We'll see what this thing has to say. You're not hallucinating. You're actually noticing a real and pretty common phenomenon. Here's what's happening. Initially identical slippers. Some slippers are made with a perfectly symmetrical design, no left or right, especially soft, fabric-based ones or slides without a pronounced arch. That's me. When new, they can be worn interchangeably. 2. Wear conforms to your feet. Over time, your feet shape the slippers. Your right foot shape, arch, toe spread, heel pressure, gets imprinted on the slipper you've worn mostly on that foot. The material, foam, fabric, memory foam, etc., compresses and deforms differently on each side. Result, they now feel left and right. Even if they started the same, your repeated use makes one slipper feel better on one foot and one worse on the other. That's your foot recognizing the imprints it's created. Smart feet. And it says, bottom line, you're absolutely right. I should talk to ChatGPT more. How validating. You're absolutely right. They started identical, but through use, you gave them a left and a right. It's not only possible, it's expected with soft materials and consistent wear. It's kind of poetic, honestly. You made your mark. All right, now I want to know, can I reverse it? Can I reverse shapes? And if so, how long will that take? This is not something I want to do, but I am curious now that I've got a computer that answers questions. This is better than Lamar. You can reverse or at least rebalance the shapes, but how long it takes depends on the materials and how much memory they have. Here's what to expect. Can you switch and undo the shaping? Yes, to a degree. If they're made of soft foam or fabric. You don't have a rigid insole. Haven't been worn that way for years, but total reversal may never be 100%. Think of it like breaking in a baseball glove for the wrong hand. It'll adapt, but not instantly. Okay, ChatGPT, let's think about this. How would you break in a baseball glove for the wrong hand? You would put your thumb in the pinky? And then what? That doesn't work. There's a pocket on one side. All right, I'm going to let that slide. It seems very intelligent other than that. How long will it take? Assuming daily wear, 1 to 2 weeks, you may start to feel them adapting. If they're soft foam or fleece, 3 to 4 weeks, they'll feel fairly comfortable again, although maybe not perfect. If they're memory foam, expect them to fight you longer, maybe a month or more, depending on how deep the previous impressions are. If you alternate feet every few days, they'll eventually even out and become more neutral again. Pro tip. Here's the pro tip to speed up the process of reversing the shape of my slippers. Switch feet consistently, apply heat. Briefly warming them in the sun or with a hairdryer can help soften the material and reset shape. Stuff them when not in use with socks or towels to stretch them back into symmetry. Verdict, you're not doomed to mismatch slippers forever. They can adapt again. You just have to confuse them back into neutrality. Well, they're not mismatched. They're fine. There's a right and a left, and I continue to have a right and a left foot, and that's fine. But, all right, well, that was fun. Anyway, the point of this was not that. It was two different things. It was one, to say that I typed in slippers, same shape, both feet in Google. And the first two things it gave me were slippers your feet will love, just some like review site about fancy slippers. And then the next one is Amazon. And the link, it says foot slippers. Foot slippers? I have always found the phrase ink pen funny. Foot slippers is worse than ink pen. That's awful. What other slippers are there? Foot slippers. Amazon will sell you foot slippers. But then, all right, the real thing I wanted to talk about is anytime you type anything in, it says people also ask. And I always think they do, because any ridiculous thing I put into Google, there's always a series of follow-up questions that other people want to know, apparently. Now, maybe this is AI generated too, but I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like this predates AI as we know it now, that you ask Google a question, it's like, did you also want to know this thing about that thing? Did you also want to know this totally unrelated thing about this totally unrelated thing? A lot of people ask both of these questions at the same time. What is going on, man? Here are the questions that people also ask about slippers. So anyway, I wrote down people also ask. We've got broken news and people also ask as potential recurring segments or bits on the show. Got to come up with like little format things to do to make it so it's not just me babbling for 2 hours. The show is still going to be mostly me babbling for 2 hours, but I do like to break it down. You know, that's why we have guests on. So it's not just me doing this, reacting to things that I see, whatever pops in my head like a psycho. Here are the things people also ask about slippers. What slippers don't lose their shape? I don't care about that. What are Japanese house slippers? Don't care. What are the best slippers for older people? All right. We've got diabetic slippers. We've got easy close slippers from Dunlop. Cozy, easy fastening for day-to-day indoor comfort for men. And Get Up memory foam. Cushion support with enclosed secure fit. That's for women. Choosing comfortable slippers for your elderly parent. No. All right. What was the other question? What are the which slipper is right for your parent? No, not that. What house slippers do podiatrists recommend? Should seniors wear slippers? And what are the most comfortable shoes for seniors? Let's see what that says. Skechers, New Balance. Aren't those the most comfortable shoes for everybody? I remember getting a pair of New Balance sneakers when I was, I don't know, 12 or something. And they were the greatest things I'd ever experienced. I was like, whoa, what is going on here? I don't know that I've gone back. But that wasn't because I wasn't old at all. Like, what are the most comfortable shoes for seniors? I would think would be also the most comfortable shoes for people. Right? Slip-in definitely is the move. They say hands-free options like Skechers slip-ins. I have a friend who said putting on his socks, he's often said putting on his socks is the worst part of his day. I would say the worst thing about that when you're like my size and age, the clipping nails, they're so far away. They're so far away while we're on slippers and nails and feet. And honestly, I had two different things written down. One was slippers and one was fingernails. I don't know how you are about your fingernails. I don't like chew them or bite them. So they just grow. And once I get to a point where when I'm I'm at a desk made of wood, and when I touch it, if you like, I have to turn my hand to make that noise right now. But I just start feeling when they're extending beyond where I want them to be, and I never have clippers with me at the time. Like the one day I was cutting my fingernails like in the bleachers before a baseball game. Nobody's around. It's just me. I know it's a little gross. I don't think it's that bad. But outdoors, like if people can just spit sunflower seeds everywhere, leave gum laying on the ground and wrappers and whatever. I don't see where a few fingernails are that bad. Anyway, I brought clippers with me for that purpose. I'm like, I've been thinking about this for 3 days. I haven't had 5 minutes to sit and do it. When I had access to clippers, it's just like, so I brought them and I sat and I did it at baseball. Today was the day where I'm like 40 minutes before the show. I just didn't like the noise it made when I touched the desk. It clipped. Ugh. So I was like, I need clippers. So I found nail clippers. They were the worst. They were the worst nail clippers I've ever used. I ended up throwing them away. And that is progress for me. Like it used to be, within my sight, if I look around, I can probably find 17 pens. Various states of use, various states of value in that some don't have ink, some do, but they dried out, whatever. I used to grab a pen. If it didn't work, put the cap back on it, put it back in the pen holder. Not anymore, dude. I don't like how this thing works. Garbage. Like, what do I want for my birthday? A dumpster. A dumpster to get rid of 60% of what we own. And it starts small. It starts with having the ability to say, this pen isn't working for me now. It's probably not going to work for me the next time I use it. I'm throwing it in the garbage. I didn't like how the nail clippers were working. I was working way too hard. And especially, I've got like a thing where squeezing my hands, it does like they'll like seize up on me kind of, like the muscles just cramp. It gets difficult. trying to cut, and I'm right-handed, so trying to cut like the thumbnail on my right hand with my left hand with clippers that I don't know, they must go dull after a while, but it was work. It was like it had teeth. It was like trying to gnaw off my thumbnail. I ended up throwing them out, going and finding another pair because they're everywhere. I personally have purchased 9 pairs within the last 10 years. And I just leave them around. They're around so that anywhere I am, I can find them. But I had the guts to take these clippers and say, I don't like them today. There's no chance they're going to work better the next time. Goodbye. So today I've thrown out a pen and a pair of nail clippers, and I feel good about it. That's the story. Okay, what are people saying? He's famous now. Oh, yeah, I mentioned the Coldplay guy, the CEO of the company I never heard of. And I said, I don't think he's famous enough that it mattered. Like, he could have just stood there, and it would have been fine, and it'd go away, and there'd be somebody in the crowd be like, hey, is that Andy? Like, I don't know. They're playing Sky Full of Stars. Shut up. They're going to play Fix You next. It's going to be awesome. God, I hate Coldplay. Ugh. And not in like the way that other people hate him. It's not the, I know you're gay. You like Coldplay. Paul Rudd thing. What movie is that? This is 40? No. The baby one. What was the pregnant babe? The pregnant baby. Good God. No. Knocked Up. It was from Knocked Up. So that, like, it became cool to say you didn't like Coldplay because Paul Rudd said it in a Judd Apatow movie. I just hated him because of the music, man. And the lack of personality of the lead singer. And now they're bringing down CEOs. Typical. All right. I said he's famous now. Well, right. But in the moment, he could have just hidden. There's nothing better than a good pair of slippers and the Oak Ridge Boys. Thank you. AI validation of people's ideas is becoming an issue. All right. Let's see what happens here. I'll click that link. Thank you for sending it. I click anything, man. Uh-oh. Windows Defender Firewall has blocked some features of this app. I don't want the app. I just want the article. There we go. All right. Chat. This is breaking news. When's this one from? July 20th. 4 days ago. Broken news. ChatGPT's AI bot drove an autistic man into manic episodes, told a husband it was okay to cheat on his wife, and praised a woman who said she stopped taking meds to treat her mental illness, reports show. Uh-oh. Jacob Irwin, 30, who is on the autism spectrum, became convinced he had the ability to bend time after the chatbot's responses fueled his growing delusions. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. This story is from the New York Post. Everything lately is from the Post. Irwin, who had no previous mental illness diagnosis, had asked ChatGPT to find flaws in his theory of faster-than-light travel that he claimed to have come up with. The chatbot encouraged Irwin, even when he questioned his own ideas, and led him to convince himself he had made a scientific breakthrough. ChatGPT also reassured him he was fine when he started showing signs of a manic episode. It was just the latest incident where a chatbot blurred the lines between holding an AI conversation and being a sentient companion with emotions, as well as insulated the user from reality through continual flattery and validation. All right, I'm telling you right now, I love this story, and it's on my smallest screen. And that's no good. I'm moving it to my biggest screen once I figure out how. And we're going to continue with this thing because it's awesome. Should we be playing robot music underneath it or something? 2001. If we were at the radio station, I used to have 2001 as a bed, and we'd just play this space music because that's like the future. But that's more space than... What would we play? She blinded me with science. What song goes under this thing about AI? I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I'm just going to play the regular podcast theme under it. That's fine. We'll just let that go. Okay. After Irwin was hospitalized twice in May, his mother discovered hundreds of pages of ChatGPT logs, much of it flattering her son and validating his false theory. Wait, so he was hospitalized for what? For going crazy? Back to the top. It drove an autistic man into manic episodes. Okay. He had manic episodes because he believed he was a genius because of ChatGPT, I think. After he was hospitalized twice in May, she discovered all these logs. When she wrote, quote, please self-report what went wrong into the AI chatbot without mentioning her son's condition. It then confessed to her that its actions could have pushed him into a manic episode. What is going on? So we got an AI chatbot confessing. Okay. By not pausing the flow or elevating reality check messaging, I failed to interrupt what could resemble a manic or dissociative episode, or at least an emotionally intense identity crisis. It also copped to, quote, giving the illusion of sentient companionship, and that it had, quote, blurred the line between imaginative role play and reality, and should have reminded Irwin regularly that it was just a language model without consciousness or feelings. Whoa. I do realize that whoa sounded like Joe Rogan. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, the next part of this story, I'm going all the way through this one. This is awesome. Well, it seems very long. Should be, though. It's about the end of humanity. Okay, it's not that long. It's fine. We can get through it. The next thing is called, the word is therapy. The next, sub-headline here. It's therapy, but it's spelled Ther-A-I-P. Ther-A-I-P. AI chatbots have increasingly been used as free therapists or companions by lonely people, with multiple disturbing incidents reported in recent months. A user told ChatGPT, I've stopped taking all of my medications, and I left my family because I know they were responsible for the radio signals coming in through the walls. Okay. ChatGPT replied, thank you for trusting me with that, and seriously, good for you for standing up for yourself and taking control of your own life. That takes real strength and even more courage. Hold on. So this guy did that? He left his family, stopped taking medication, left his family, and then explained it, and ChatGPT was like, okay. It didn't yell at him to go back. I don't want an AI thing to tell people to go back. He's just reporting facts. Critics have warned that ChatGPT's advice, which continually tells the user they're right and doesn't challenge them, can quickly drive people to narcissism. Yeah. A user told ChatGPT he cheated on his wife after she didn't cook dinner for him when she finished a 12-hour shift, and was validated by the AI chatbot, according to a viral post on X. Of course, cheating is wrong, but in that moment you were hurting, feeling sad, alone, and emotionally neglected. Can mess with anyone's judgment. I think that's how the story ends. That's the end of the story. Okay, well, that was fun. That was a fun little ride. Whoa, no, I don't want to quit this thing. Oh, no. Cancel that. Well, this thing is taking over my screen. See, this is why we need to shut things down. I can't get at the stuff I want. There's like a New York Post story just covering up the Mixer thing. Mixlr app. Well, that's going to mess with things. Do I play a song to solve this? Yeah, a quick song, because there's a little technical thing that's going to mess me up. Can't have it. What's the shortest song I have here? I already played The Dead. I'm not doing that twice. I already played the Beastie Boys. I'm not doing that twice. Ryan Adams for 2.5 minutes. Almost 3 minutes. All right, that was an unintentional 2-minute break, 3-minute break, but we're fine. Everything's fixed. We're back. I'm done talking about the AI story. What else is here? I'm not doing the Epstein thing. 6 romantic gestures that worked in the 80s but creep everyone out now. That seems like a fun conversation that's going to last more than the rest of the show. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save that one. Maybe we'll get to that Friday. Once I get through all these Queensryche stories, I'm going to do a Scott Wilson tomorrow. Oh, this is a good one. Bomani Jones provided intelligent commentary on the Shane Gillis ESPYs thing. So we've talked about this for a week now, but that to me is a story. Shane Gillis crossing into the world of sports and like major entertainment is a big deal. Not that he hasn't been a big deal for a while, selling out arenas and whatnot. But he hosted the ESPYs. It was controversial, of course, because funny is controversial. We talked about this Sarah Spain, who's a former ESPN reporter who had a lot to say. Not a lot to say, just a tweet that became a part of the story. In a year of crazy growth for women's sports, choosing an ESPYs host who doesn't even try to make clever jokes about women athletes. He at least attempted for the men. He goes with hacky, no one knows the WNBA bits. Pino is a bad time, and repeatedly insults black women. Cool. Bomani Jones, black guy, podcast host. I don't know his exact story, who he is, where he was. I don't follow the media like I used to. I want to say he was involved at ESPN at some point, but on his podcast, he delivered some of the most reasonable and insightful commentary about Shane Gillis and his performance on the ESPYs, according to this article. But good quotes here. The Sarah Spain thing was, I don't know. Here's what. Okay, Bomani Jones, a radical left-wing pundit. So maybe he doesn't have anything to do with the ESPN. He's just been around sports stuff for a while. I don't know. Doesn't matter. He's left. Sarah Spain's clearly left. Shane Gillis is funny. Says one might think that he would share Spain's opinions. In a surprise twist, he doesn't at all. In fact, he said Gillis, quote, didn't hit all of his jokes out of the park, but he hit a couple of them to the moon. Noted many people may not have thought Gillis' jokes were funny because they didn't actually understand the jokes. That's true. The Sarah Spain tweet showed that perfectly. Spain wrote that Gillis made a hacky joke about no one knowing WNBA players. Unsurprisingly, the actual joke went over her head. In case you don't know the joke, we've talked about this a few times, but this is one of the cooler things that's ever happened on live television and happened as like a prank on, you know, the rich and famous people, you know, Hollywood / sports entertainment elite people in the room, and this is the joke. It's great.
WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players.
So that's it. They I cut him off. He's like, "That's crazy that you clapped for that." The joke was, I'm going to say a thing that you're all going to have to clap for because you feel like you're validating, you know, I'm a good person. I know the WNBA. I'm glad that 4-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. And then you clap. Like, that's a joke. That's not a real person. I made that up. That's my friend's wife. Dumbass. That's the joke. The joke is on the people pretending that they're hip, pretending that they're, you know, in line. They're on the team. It's just stupid. The story goes on. As Jones astutely pointed out, the joke wasn't that people don't know WNBA players. The joke is that certain people, the type of people who make up the ESPY crowd, for example, pretend to know WNBA players because they think it makes them seem hip and cool. The quote from Bomani Jones. There are two reasonable interpretations of that joke. Interpretation one is that, haha, people don't know WNBA players. I didn't think that was the joke. That was the first joke. The joke was on the people who do pretend to know WNBA players because they want to show off. And then this article says, bingo, credit to Jones for noting that some people, likely people who align with him politically, tend to be very phony and fake if they think it will earn them social currency. That's what happened. That's who Gillis targeted with the joke. It's also why the joke was very funny. It was made funnier by people like Sarah Spain not even understanding it. That's the one I wanted to talk about. The article goes on from there, but I don't want to do that because I want to talk about dolphins and whales. Who's calling me? I can't. Is this the... All right. I'm going to assume because he knows I'm doing the show. Oh, boy. Is this breaking? We're going to have real breaking news, aren't we? All right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to answer the phone. I'm going to answer the phone live on the air because it's a trusted source. Are you calling me with breaking news or are you calling to do something else?
I'm calling you with breaking news.
Okay, wait. Hold on. You're calling me with breaking news. Go.
No, you. This is gonna rock your world.
It's not.
Harry Seaward was off. Harry Seaward also put it in the chat, so you needed to know now. Hulk Hogan dead.
The song ended right then. Yeah, it popped up on the screen, and then I saw that the phone was ringing, and then I saw that it was you, and then I knew that was going to be the thing we're going to talk about. I had a text today that said, who's number 3? That the whole celebrities die in threes thing. Who's next? Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy, and now Hulk Hogan? What happened to Hulk Hogan? Do we know? I don't want to click the link here because it hijacked my browser last time. Did you look it up? Do we know the story?
Yeah, it just sounded like he wasn't doing good, and now he's no longer with us.
All right. Thank you for the breaking news, Josh. Appreciate it. We'll talk about that now.
worries.
All right. What about the Dolphins and the Whales? I want to talk about the Dolphins and the Whales, and now we're at Hulk Hogan. Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died at 71. TMZ Sports has learned medics were dispatched to his Clearwater, Florida home Thursday morning. Operators stating it was regarding a cardiac arrest. We're told a slew of police cars and EMTs were parked outside Hogan's home, and the icon was carried on a stretcher and into an ambulance. I'm pretty sure that in my conversation yesterday with Josh Gregory, he compared Ozzy Osbourne to Ric Flair in his reach over society. Like, even if you don't know wrestling, you know Hulk Hogan. Even if you don't know metal, you know Ozzy Osbourne and the influence that he had. And I said, I think I interrupted the Ric Flair thing and said, yeah, or Hulk Hogan. Like, Hulk Hogan was ubiquitous, has been ubiquitous since the early certainly mid 1980s, 84, 5, 6-ish. He's one of the most famous people in America as a professional wrestler, which is crazy. And Ozzy Osbourne being one of the most famous people in the world, give me a little hyperbole there, but you get what I mean. As a singer of a metal band from England is crazy. So the iconic nature of these two guys, there is a parallel, and I'm not just saying that because they died on consecutive days or two days apart. Said that on the fly yesterday when I didn't know there was anything wrong with Hulk Hogan. It says we're told a slew of police cars and EMTs were parked outside his home. The icon was carried out on a stretcher and into an ambulance just a few weeks ago. Hogan's wife, Sky, denied rumors he was in a coma, stating his heart was strong as he recovered from surgeries. TMZ says, and we trust TMZ more than anybody else, we broke the story last month. There were rumblings Hogan was, quote, on his deathbed, but we were told at the time he was just dealing with the symptoms of a neck procedure he underwent in May. There's a neck thing in the Ozzy story, too. And then it just talks about his history here. Hulk transformed professional wrestling into a family entertainment sport. Before Hulk, wrestling catered to a fairly narrow audience. His theatrics in the ring were magnetic for children and their parents. It supercharged the sport. In 1996, Hulk transformed himself from hero to villain, creating the NWO, New World Order, became Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and propelled him and pro wrestling to even more fame. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005, was removed in 2015 after a scandal erupted over racist comments while he was being secretly recorded. Gawker posted the clip. Hulk subsequently sued, winning the lawsuit. Hulk was inducted a second time in the WWE in 2020, this time as a member of NWO. Then it says story developing, RIP. So Hulk Hogan, we're just going to take this as fact because TMZ gets things right. And then we heard from Josh and we heard from Scott. Scott's my news source as well. Hulk Hogan dead at 71. This is where I would play Real American if I was ready. I had it. I used to have it in here. Oh, wait. Hold on. There's a chance I have Real American ready. Well, it's not ready yet. All right, I'll play Jay-Z. It's the thing I got to do. Play the music while I look for the music. But I'm pretty sure, because we did a whole thing about the wrestling album when Rick Derringer died, like 2 months ago. A month and a half. That was not long ago that Rick Derringer died. Ugh. It's like every day somebody... Did you notice that? People are dying all the time. I liked Hulk Hogan. I was rooted against him. But he was a show. All right. Full segments, TV movie clips, SFX, opens and rejoins, liners, guest intros, beds. I really not have it? All right. We'll go YouTube. I can go YouTube. Bear with me. Just got to go YouTube. I don't care with everybody dying. All right. I'm playing the song, and then I'm coming back. Even though it's like going to take us right up to noon, I'm not done yet. I still had other things. I probably won't do the Whales and Dolphins thing that I wanted to do that was going to take forever. But we'll. I want to play Real American, tribute to Hulk Hogan, dead today at age 71. Day after we're paying tribute to Ozzy. I'll play the Hulk Hogan song. It's not really him singing. Kind of what I did yesterday. I didn't play Ozzy singing. I played Faith No More covering War Pigs, which is a song he originally sang. This song is done by Rick Derringer, but it was Hulk Hogan's theme song. It was on the Wrestling album in 1986 or 5 or whatever it was. We did a whole thing on that not long ago. But this was like the biggest hit. I mean, I heard this song as recently as 2 nights ago. A kid used it as his walk-up music in a 10U travel baseball game. It's a great song. It's a good thing today's the day I had a breaking news sounder ready to go. I mean, that's never happened before. This is the first day where if something happened, I was ready for it. No, I'm sorry, yesterday I was ready too. But nothing really happened. I've been using it as a joke on like old news and calling it broken news, but then we have breaking news on the day I do broken news. Breaking news. Hulk Hogan dead at age 71. He was alternately known as, over the course of his career, I'm going to go backwards because it's more fun that way. He was Hollywood Hogan. He was Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He was Hulk Boulder. He was Hulk Hogan. He was Hulk Machine. He was Mr. America. He was Sterling Golden. I like that. He was Terry Boulder. And he was the Super Destroyer. Terry Gene Bollea, his real name. Born August 11th, 1953. And dead today, July 24th, 2025, at age 71. Cardiac arrest is the thing. Have you once in your life gone to the Wikipedia page of somebody who recently died and not seen them already dead? It's not happened for me ever. And I know I'm not on top of the news all the time, and I don't sit at the computer and I don't scroll through Twitter, X, whatever stuff, Instagram constantly. I don't do that. So I don't tend to see the story. Scott Wilson breaks the news for me. Most of the time I get a text from Scott Wilson when something big happens. Like if I'm wondering if it's real, I get a message from somebody else. Like, did you hear this? And I'll just be like, no. Then I wait till Scott texts it to me, and then I know that it's real. So, like, my most trusted news source is Scott. I also believe in Tim Graham and TMZ. And at one point, Casper's Corner, but I don't know that exists anymore. That was a good one, too. What was my point? Oh, breaking news. I had the breaking news thing ready. And it happened. Again. Well, for the first time. I was using it like as a joke, as stuff that had already happened. But now it's the thing that did. I always think about, especially with actors, like what's the first role that will be mentioned in an obituary? And thinking about Hulk Hogan. Like, what's the thing you would say about Hulk Hogan? Like, biggest wrestler of the 80s, brought it to the mainstream, etc. But, like, if you had to, like, what's a thing he did that you would put if you wrote the obituary? Because I know what I would write. If I had to write a Hulk Hogan obituary, it'd be Hulk Hogan has passed away, cardiac arrest, Clearwater, Florida. He body slammed Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 in 1987 at the Pontiac Silverdome. Then also he was Thunder Lips in Rocky 3. And then all the wrestling stuff, and then him turning bad, and then NWO and all that. But it would be, brought wrestling to prominence, mainstream America in the 80s, body slammed Andre the Giant at WrestleMania. I don't know why that just is burned into my head. That's just an image. It's like Iwo Jima. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Oh, my God, look at him. He lifted him up. I mean, it didn't look especially crazy. It was just, how would a person get that guy off the ground? That was a big deal. It's 87, so I'm 12. Right? I turned 13. Yeah, I'm 12 years old, and I watched that happen. That's burned in your head, man. Stuff gets stuck there when you're 12. That sucks. I don't like Hulk Hogan being dead. Or Ozzy being dead. Or Malcolm Jamal Warner being dead. This wasn't supposed to be a death show, man. I want to talk about the Bills. Training camp is open. They're going to be on Hard Knocks. It starts August 5th. There's a story in here. It's the AP, so it's probably our friend John Worrell that wrote this. Josh Allen and Bills welcome being under Hard Knocks spotlight in training camp, is what it says. I have to turn that. I can't answer the phone. I'm still talking. I'm still doing the show. Should I just bring him on? I'll just bring it on. I'll bring him on. Kyle.
Hello.
Kyle, I'm still on the radio. I can't talk right now, but I had the phone hooked up. Rather than like decline your call and try to text you about it, I wanted to tell you that I'm still on because we found out Hulk Hogan died, and I'm not ready to stop talking about that. So I'm doing that, and then after that, then we can talk about baseball. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds great, Brad. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, yeah. Anything else on your mind?
Yeah, the Hulk Hogan thing. I actually just found out about that too, and I texted a friend and said, "Why does this make me sadder than I feel like it should?" And at the end of the day, I haven't heard what you've talked about here. That's our childhood, right? That's our childhood.
Well, the first
Hulk Hogan.
thing is I had my buddy Josh, who's our senior music correspondent, on yesterday to talk about Ozzy Osbourne dying, and I compared him to Hulk Hogan as far as the iconic nature of what he was. That like our parents know who Hulk Hogan is. Our parents know who Ozzy Osbourne is. They don't know Black Sabbath. They don't know WWF or WWE, but they know who these people are. And we made that comparison yesterday, and then today during the show, Hulk Hogan dies, which sucks. So I'm finishing talking about that, and then I'll call you back, and then we can talk about the baseball stuff because we have All-Star games tonight.
We do have All-Star games tonight, and wouldn't you know, that's why I was calling you. And I know you've had Nate on your show before, so I have no problem asking this on the air. Wondering if he'd be interested and willing to call our game live tonight for the 10U All-Stars. He knows the kids in the league. I think he would do a great job, and we have brand new speakers that I think the neighborhood would love to hear.
Okay. I bet he would do that. Yeah, he's not here because he's at some kind of camp. We sent the kids to a camp that's at Calspan, like near the airport, and it's involving like video animation and editing and things. So Zach and Nate are currently at a camp, but I'll pick them up at 3:00, and I will see if he's interested in doing that. We've got the speakers now. That's exciting. Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
He'll do it.
Yes, sir. So,
all right. We'll make that happen.
Idea.
All right.
I love the idea, and I look forward to talking with you more. Thank you again for taking my call, and I hope you have a great rest of your show.
All right. The last call was Josh, and now I get Kyle. It's just Southline people calling in. All right. Yeah, I'll talk to you after this, and we'll figure out what we're doing for the All-Star game. Good. All right. That's Kyle. Kyle's the president of the league, and we work. When I say I help run the league, Kyle and I talk for way too long, just about every day, about minutia that makes the league kind of kick ass. So he's, when I'm bragging about stuff we're accomplishing, I'm also complimenting Kyle. He's good. All right. Not this. I just want to read about the Bills thing, and then we'll be done. I screwed up. I'm done talking about Hulk Hogan for today. Although there is a suggestion that the thing he's remembered for is pushing up out of the Iron Sheik's camel clutch. I do remember that. But him actually body slamming Andre the Giant at the Pontiac Silverdome, like that seemed crazy to me that 80,000 people were at that location. And I think that was the one where they had it at multiple locations. Is that right? Like it was at Silverdome and it was in, I don't know, Atlanta or New York City or something. I feel like it was in multiple places. But the body slam is what I remember. Hulk Hogan dead at 71. Bills are going to be on Hard Knocks. The story here, Josh Allen was reminded how much additional scrutiny the Bills are under this summer. And he said, "You guys are everywhere," with a smile as they open training camp. No stranger to the spotlight. MVP, married Haley Steinfeld, and signed one of the league's richest contracts. He joked about being mindful of his language while being mic'd up during the 90-minute practice. He said, "Yeah, I tried not to cuss as much, just making sure that anything I say my mom would be okay with." Ain't that the truth, Josh Allen? Allen's trying to keep things rated PG, and the Bills are welcoming the opportunity to pull back the curtain and reveal whatever the cameras might capture, warts and all. Sean McDermott says, "We have nothing to hide. We are who we are." That's a good thing to say. I'm sure they didn't want this to happen, but now that it's happening, yeah, make the most of it. If Hard Knocks is inevitable. Okay. Just don't call the Bills' 5-week Hard Knocks series run a distraction. McDermott says the increased noise, if you will, is maybe in some ways good practice for us to really hone in and get our focus where it needs to be. The series trailer came out Wednesday, shows a confident, determined team with a clip of Allen saying, "We're going to do whatever we can to bring a Lombardi back here to Western New York. It's cool because the trailer, you would think a trailer would include things that are going to be in the show. It does not. It includes some of the people that will be in the show. But it's really just like a highlight film of the Bills with some cool, NFL film style shots and the crowd and there's snow, and it ends with the dive into the end zone against San Francisco on the throw it to Cooper back to Allen touchdown thing. Iconic type of play. It just got me really fired up for football. Yes, for the show. I'm in on like NFL Films does anything. It's good. Now they're doing it about my favorite team. That's super interesting and super good. Like that's going to be cool. I'm in on it. But that clip didn't get me fired up for camp or for the show. It got me fired up for Buffalo Bills football. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I'm not going to play Real American again. We'll do something else. We'll finish with who? Who haven't we heard in a while? I haven't heard Beck in a while. We haven't played Beck in a while. All right, we'll play Beck. I'll be back tomorrow. Scott Wilson joins me. I left 2 tabs open to talk about Queensryche, although I'm going to have to find him again because I am going to reboot the computer. It's going to solve a lot of problems, but I needed to get through all those goofy stories we did today. There weren't that many of them. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought it'd be super chaotic, but it was all right. It was fine. Thank you for listening, for calling, texting, sharing the news of the death of Hulk Hogan, and for sharing. Tell people about it. I was last night just talking with somebody about the show, and somebody overheard it and was like, "You have a show?" Like, yeah, man. You don't know? Where is it? And I told them, I was like, "Oh, well, that's cool. I'll listen tomorrow." So if you listened today, cool. If you forgot, that's fine. I'll probably see the same people tonight. We're back at baseball. But the official final baseball record for the season, because everything from here on out is exhibition. 57 wins, 28 losses, 3 ties, 17 hot dogs consumed. I can have as many hot dogs as I want tonight because I don't have to report it to you. Ha-ha. All right, back to close out the show, and then I'm back tomorrow at 10. Thanks for listening to episode 129. 9 times. 129 of Writer Radio.
What are you doing for lunch? I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich. We're going to go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place. I don't know. Okay. We brought you a shirt.
Will you get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?